on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho. Live from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. This is Santiago Leon, not Victor Arocho. He is on assignment. This is the Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by the Sportscast. This is April 10th, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Twitch, X, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online digital radio. You can visit us on the Sportscast and also on X, Sportscast1, Instagram, Sportscast1, and check out our app, the Sportscast for iOS. A man that's not on Instagram, Mr. Byron Jones. How you doing up there?
Wonderful. I had to deal with my little kid. That's why I have East Lansdale Patriots, with the flag football that I'm involved with, the little kids, because somehow, some way, they're watching this. And I'm going to give them a little shout out, even though I had to run out of practice like I usually do at 7 o'clock to get home. But yeah, I did a little shout out for my little angels, 13U, East Lansdale Patriots.
Now, has the season started? Are you guys still in preseason? What's the status of the season right now?
We're in heavy practice right now, flag football. It is freezing out there, man. It's like 30. Well, John knows, up there. It's 30, 40 degrees, after 6 o'clock. It's cold out there trying to practice. I'm old, man. I'm 62 years old, man. I got no business out there, out there in the cold like that. But, it is what it is.
It is what it is. They need you out there, Byron. We got Gabe Esparza. What's going on up there in upstate New York?
Hello. We are now done with college basketball. It was fun. There was a lot of madness, but now we can focus on real basketball. And by that, I mean the Dallas Mavericks.
Ooh, well, yeah, we'll talk about the Mavs and the Luka's teardrop moment last night. We got John Roddenberg, first appearance this year in 2025. How's it going over there?
Like I said, it's not been a great week, but it's been okay. They're just hanging in,
Yeah, dynamic. Same here. April, Easter's coming up, so the weather's changing a little bit. Not up north as much, but it is 85. I feel the humidity a little bit, but I don't want to brag about it. Let's go national championship. Gabriel Esparza talked about it, brought it up. Big win by Florida. They were up, I think, by a minute and a half. I think on Monday, Houston was leading most of the time. I thought Houston was going to win. I was going with Houston. I went to 3 different restaurants. I couldn't find a place to sit down and watch the game. I found one, a nice bar. It was just like one other guy that was a Florida fan. We watched it together, but Florida won it. They came through. Gabe, what was your reaction?
Yeah, I really thought Houston was going to do it, and they nearly did. You gotta feel, I think, for the Cougars fans and for the players on that team. But from Florida's standpoint, listen, they got it done. They've looked impressive all year long, and they got it done in what I viewed from start to finish as the best conference in America, in the SEC. So credit to them for surviving the gauntlet and then winning it when it mattered.
Yeah, winning where it mattered. Clayton Jr. was probably the star of the show for most of the March Madness. Florida was down 12 points, which I think was the highest amount. John, were you able to see the game on Monday night?
I was not. I'm not going to lie. Been a little bit too preoccupied with work lately than to watch, but I did. I was pulling for Houston up until the point when they made it to, I think it was when they won their semi and they wouldn't let Olajuwon onto the court to celebrate. I'm like, going, no, that's not a good look. That's definitely bad luck. So I had bad feelings going into that game. You don't have Hakeem up there. Nah, man, that's not good. Not good at all. But
yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, just congrats, Florida. Good job.
Yeah. Walter Clay Jr. had 11 points. Will Richard with 18. Alex Condon 12 points. On the Houston side, only LJ Cryer had a double-digit point going on there. Houston didn't have much stars, but Mr. Byron, I know you get into the national championship when it comes to college basketball. Did you watch the game?
Yes, I did. Because I wanted Sampson, the head coach from Houston, to at least get one, or but I couldn't believe that they couldn't get a shot off. They had 19 seconds off at toward the end of the game, and they didn't get a shot off. And that's where they lost the game right there. Even though they were up by 12, and Florida, it was impressive, coming back. It was just the fact that they couldn't get off a shot for 19 seconds. That's what bothered me because they should have won the game, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You got to close out the deal, right, Gabe? And that's what Florida did. Prospects, Clayton Jr. is going to the NBA, right, Gabe?
Oh yeah, we said that too on the pregame show beforehand. Like he's just a guy that he has the athletic ability and the build to be an NBA player. I think kind of a gritty player, and he's someone who I think he'll be able to carve himself a nice little niche on an NBA team. So good for him. He gets to leave college a champion.
Yeah, I agree. Him, I think Broom from Auburn has potential to be in the top 10, I guess, in the NBA draft. So we'll see what happens there. But a bunch of stars. March Madness was good. I watched not all of it, but I watched towards the end all of it. So, but it was fun. And congrats to Florida Gators. 3 championships this century, I think, Byron. They won 3, I
The last
think.
one
Was it in 2018?
No, I think it was way back, a little bit further back. I think when Billy Donovan was the head coach.
Billy Donovan, which he got inducted, and that guy Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he played for the Bulls. But anyways, that's Joakim Noah. That's his name. I remember. Anyways, top headlines this week. NFL draft is in 2 weeks, guys.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let's don't. We got to mention the women. Let's don't forget them.
Oh, that's right.
Don't forget
UConn
them.
beat USC. Tell us, Byron. Give us a recap on that.
That game, I watched most of it. As far as Paige Beckers, getting the championship. Finally, after she had the injury, and she came in there with all the highlights and all the other, and I was happy she got what I wanted, but I couldn't have it both ways. I like Dawn Staley, for South Carolina, and I like UConn, because of Gino Oriana Ama, and the thing that he's done the last 30 years. He seems like he's been there forever. Him having 12 championships, and all the great players that they've had through UConn. But you could also say the same thing for UConn, for South Carolina. So it was great, that Paige Becker finally won a championship. They got another young lady. I can't think of her name right now. The freshman center. She had that played a tremendous game. I think she set a record for most points as a freshman, during the tournament. But yeah, they're just reloading, and they'll be back again. Both teams. Yeah. But that was a great team. Great game.
Talking about China Alfie or the Sarah Strong?
Sarah Strong, yeah.
Sarah Strong, yeah.
24 points. Asa, as you FUD, 24 points too. So,
Gabe, did you watch? A lot of interest.
Yeah, were you able to watch the game, Gabe?
Of course. Yeah, this was a game that really showed how well UConn has been playing. I would say for the past, I'll be generous and say month, because there were times, particularly around, say, December, January, where this team was struggling, and it didn't look like they would go on and really be champions. I mean, there's a reason why UCLA was the top overall seed, and a lot of people had South Carolina winning it here, but Paige Beckers, she ends her career also on a high note, but she in particular made a lot of big time shots during March Madness and down the stretch here, and she showed up big time when her team needed it most, and she too gets to leave a champion.
Well, there have it. Congratulations to UConn, a basketball school. The men's have won it as well a lot. This year they couldn't make it due to the three-peat, but the women's as well. Solid basketball program. at UConn. We'll see. The women's side, they've been doing well with the NIL, I guess, for UConn, but the men, they still have to put some work into it. But we'll find out next couple of weeks, right, Byron?
Yep.
Ready for the NFL draft? Anyone ready? It's 2 weeks away.
No.
Not yet. Nah.
It feels like everyone knows where everyone's going.
Yeah, well, it's always going to be that one monkey wrench, that throws it in there. It's like, oh, man, I know this guy. He took this guy. I didn't know they were going to take him yet. It's going to be something because it always is.
I forgot that Baker Mayfield was a dark horse, wasn't he? Like, he was like last minute. Was it Baker Mayfield or – yeah, it was Baker Mayfield. He was chosen number 1.
Yeah. And we see how well that worked out. So,
He had to get his feet wet. It took him, 3-4 teams, and now he's finally, with Tampa Bay, and he's playing well.
It's working out for him in Tampa.
It
took him a minute.
But like Byron said, there could be some dark horses. I don't see it, but there might be somewhere in the lower rounds, 5th. The one that I think is the mystery right now is Shedeur Sanders. He might go to New Orleans or Pittsburgh Steelers. John, which one would be a better situation?
Okay. Now, having watched him last couple of years at CU, because my dad went to CU, my uncle went to CSU, so I follow both. I mean, he's getting hype, but my big concern for him is that's all it's going to be is hype. I mean, if he winds up going to a good organization, like maybe the Saints, he has a chance to learn. Go to Pittsburgh, he has a chance to learn. You get him in Cleveland, the kid is dead. Plain and simple.
And I bet that is pushing for that, not to go to Cleveland.
Yeah. So, I mean, he may pull an Elway from 83, I'll go do something else. I'll be an accountant. I don't want to play for Baltimore. So, but yeah, but when we talk about Colorado, the kid that I'm dying to see where he goes is Travis.
I think he's going to Cleveland.
I hope not. Once again, for the same reason, I don't want him to get killed. I like him as a player.
Gabriel, what have you heard about Travis Hunter going to Cleveland?
I don't want that because I want him to drop to 4. Because I'm selfish, but
that's the Patriots,
kidding
right?
aside. Oh, yeah. But kidding aside, the whole reason why it didn't work out for Baker Mayfield in the beginning was because, he ended up in Cleveland. So poor guy. I feel bad for whoever gets drafted at 3rd. The Browns should do the right thing and trade down.
Which they can. Byron Shedeur, Saints, he'll be playing behind, and the Steelers potentially behind Mason Rudolph. What do you think is going to happen with Shedeur?
If he drops, down, either one of those teams, it's probably good for him, because you got Derek Carr, who's already started there. Yeah. He can sit behind him. And if he goes to, the other team with, Pittsburgh, Mason Rudolph, and sit behind him, you shouldn't really throw him out there because he's been behind bad offensive lines because he played, with them. Colorado had bad offensive line, and if it wasn't for Travis Hunter, yeah, and if he wasn't, for Travis Hunter, being able to do the things that he could do, it probably could have been a lot worse. But it would be bad, for him to fall to, either one of those teams.
Yeah.
John?
No, I agree. I mean, I think, like I said, I like the kid, CU kid. But, both of them. But Byron's point is right. If it wasn't for Travis, I'm not sure how good Shedeur's numbers would be. I'm just being honest.
Good point.
I'm not trying to slam him. I'm not. Because I like him as a player. But he did a lot without, because Colorado ain't known for their offensive line. I'll tell you that much. But, I would like to see him go to a place where he can succeed. And whether it means sitting behind Derek Carr while he – does his eyelashes and eyebrows before the game, that's fine, but I just would rather see.
I've never seen Byron laugh like that.
Took you guys a second to get that one. I mean, that one was in the holster for a while. I've been keeping that one for the last 5 years. I finally got a chance to use it. But no, I want to see him go somewhere where he can be successful with both of them. So
Kellen Moore wants him. Apparently, we could want him. New coach.
where's he coaching now?
That way he can say that it.
He's with the
That way
Saints
he
now.
can say
He's
that's
got
his
hired
guy.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the way he could say that's his guy. If he picks him, no, that's his quarterback. You know, Derek Carr, you know, he inherited him. You know, he was already there. But if he picks, you know, Sanders, he could always say, like most quarterbacks, you know, well, I'm picking my guy. I'm going to ride with this guy.
And who knows, with a real offensive line and like real like multiple receivers, not just one, he may be able to do a lot, and I hope he does.
And he's going to an easy division.
And playing inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a dome.
But he's proven he can play in the Colts. That's a good thing too.
And altitude.
Yeah. Yep, and at altitude.
That's tremendous. Gabe, the Saints. Good opening for Shador. I mean, that division is winnable. It's kind of up, up for grabs. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's winnable. That says more to do about the teams in that division than anything else. I'm not afraid to say this. I'm not too high on any of the quarterbacks in this class. I think they're all overhyped and overrated. And good luck if you're a fan of a team who is going to draft a first-round quarterback, because you'll be in the exact same position within 2 to 3 years. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
So you're saying this isn't the '83 draft, right? Is that you may be too young to remember that. Never mind. Only me and Byron remember that. Let it go.
Was that the draft Marino was in, or was he the '84 draft?
No, that was the '83 was him, Marino, Elway.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly. Yeah. Blackledge.
Ken O'Brien.
Ken O'Brien for your New York GETS Jets.
Whoa! Don't pass him off to the Giants. Whoa! Don't pass him off there.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I'm pulling up the Eric Dickerson was in that draft.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
By the way, Byron, you never know what's in the Buc-ee's mug.
Oh, nice.
I went to Buc-ee's a couple weeks ago. I love that place. Oh my gosh! They sell everything of everything.
Oh, if you ever go down south, you got to get their brisket sandwich, but you don't eat it right away. You take it home, you put it in the fridge, you have a few libations, and you think to yourself, my God, I'm hungry. Wait, I got a brisket sandwich in the fridge. And by then, all the grease is soaked into that brioche bun. It's heaven on earth. I'm telling you.
Perfect.
A greasy burger.
Oh, yeah. I was out in Dallas back in November, and we'd be sitting out by the pool having a few cocktails and every night, and I'm like, God, I'm hungry. Oh, wait, I got that sandwich. Oh, it's so good. Anyway,
Yeah, because I was in they actually have them in Florida already, up in Jacksonville, Daytona Beach. So it's like a mini Walmart gas station. It's amazing. And they have all the parfaits. Byron, you should have a vacation. Besides going to Atlantic City, you should come to Florida.
Yeah, really.
That's too hot to go to Florida, man. Y'all drive crazy down there, man. Last time I drove, man, I'm 95 down there, man. It was doing 900 miles an hour, man. I ain't messing around with the people in Florida.
Oh, dude, wait till you get on I-4. Go on I-4, then we'll talk.
I've been on. What? I will go down there and be messing around, man. Y'all got crocodiles down there, man. I ain't messing around there.
Oh, damn.
Nah, I'm good.
Gator bites, gator tail bites. Anyways, NFL draft. Big stock is moving up for the Giants. They're going for Abdul Carter. He had breakfast with the head coach Brian Daboll. And he's meeting him again today. Actually, he met them today at the Giants camp. Byron, you talked about him before. You liked them. What do you think about this potential third pick for the Giants?
He could be the replacement for Mr. Thibodeau. This kid is off the ball, linebacker. He can play there. They can put all three, Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and him, on the field at the same time, if that's possible. He's got that skill. We can't pass up Micah Parsons, maybe, like we did the last time, because we should have had Micah Parsons and we passed him and did whatever we did and took Tony that year. But yeah, if he's there, if it goes, if it goes Cam Ward and it goes, Travis, and he's sitting there, we got to take him. Regardless, we need a quarterback in that because he might be a generational, talent at linebacker. He might be the second coming of Micah Parsons or LeVar Arrington, before both of those guys. But yeah, if he's there, you got to take him.
Do you think because of the Russell Wilson pickup, that's why they're gonna pass on Shador? Is that the reason why?
Yeah, well, like what John said, now, like my man Gabriel said that that the quarterbacks this year are not like the ones that are going to be coming out next year. If Arch Manning comes out and the kid from Tennessee and it's a couple other ones, next year is the year if you want a quarterback. This year, these guys are kind of, you got to take them or not take them or whatever. But if you can get a Deuce Carter, you got to take him. Got to take him.
John, you laughed about Russell Wilson.
I just remembered that the Giants got Russell Wilson.
Like 2 weeks ago, right, Byron?
Yeah, that's been a while, man. Yeah, John ain't been around. He is. Come on, man. Let us live, man. Come on, John. Come on, man.
John, what should the Giants expect of Russell Wilson?
He's a solid player who is very respectful of his teammates and his team. And dude, okay, I'm just going to put you like this. He should have retired before he came to Denver. Plain and simple. He's already a Hall of Famer at that point, and I still remember sitting on this show with Victor saying, no, he's not going to go Denver. He's going to go. Well, now he's in New York. Okay, you guys got him finally, so enjoy. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, last. Yeah.
John, come on, John, show us some love, man. Come on. Give me that one little bitty, teeny glimmer of hope, man. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Okay. Here it is. His wife is hot.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll take that.
That's a plus.
I'm good.
And she could grow her music career in New York. Right, Byron?
There you go. Yep. There you go.
Anyways,
everything's fixed. Well done, boys.
So Gabe, what do you think about Abdul Carter potentially going to the Giants? Having breakfast with Daboll. I'm not sure what they ordered, but what do you think about that potential move?
Yeah, no, I like that a lot better than Shador. My big thing with Shador is, and I liked how there was a lot of debate about Andre Sisco when he made his you better stop patting the ball comment, and then everyone showed like clips of Tom Brady at one point also, tapping the ball, whatever. More importantly, I think you have a lot of questions about him. He's going to be, for the first time, I believe, ever, because I think Coach Prime coached him through Pee Wee.
Yeah.
And Pop Warner. He's not going to be under his father. That makes a big difference. He's not going to have a clear talent gap in terms of, Travis Hunter won a Heisman, and then he was playing against let's be real, against a really bad Big 12 conference in that latter half of conference play in particular. I like some of the Giants pieces, but there's obviously not going to be a big talent gap between the Giants and whoever they end up facing on Sundays. That's just not going to be a thing. So I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. I think Abdul Carter is more of a surefire hit. That's just how I view it. I think for sure you have to go him.
Now, what he's going to be? How many draft picks does New York have in the first round?
One.
They just have the one.
But they got one. They got the 33rd or 34th pick in the second.
Okay.
Round.
So you guys are talking about taking him as a third round pick?
No, third pick in the draft.
Third
pick. Okay, all right. Yeah, I would take him. I would take the guy in a heartbeat.
And then round 2, number 34, round 3, number 65. So yeah, this is the draft picks that Giants have for 2025. So Byron, who most likely ordered the Grand Slam for breakfast? The coach or Abdul Carter?
Well, since Daboll's look like he's losing weight, probably Abdul Carter.
Interesting enough. Well, we'll see what happens. It looks like Abdul Carter. It smells like Abdul Carter.
It's gonna
Another
be a
giant.
Bill Carter.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Abdul Carter. Byron Giants are hosting veteran DeMarcus Walker. He's a defensive end and a free agent. They're loading on the defense this summer, this offseason. What do you think about this potential pickup? He's from the Bears.
Probably because they're going to be so bad on offense that, maybe, if we can hold up a little bit on the defense, that, would be in some games. So you figure they signed the safety from Miami. They signed a corner. They signed a corner. They're loading up defensive linemen galore because for some reason, I don't know why it happens. Every year, the defensive line they just start dropping like flies. And it's just weird. Victor says it all the time. Do a Victor thing. Maybe it's the field that these guys get hurt constantly. But you had Big Dex didn't even finish the season. He had like a tricep injury or something, and he needs help because when he comes out the game, that's when the teams run for 3,000 yards. When he comes out, they start running the ball because they're so weak. Second and third team guys, so maybe they're just loading up, to make sure that these guys make it through the season. But I'm gonna look this guy up and see. But maybe he was a good pick. But yeah, they a lot of defensive ends, a lot of defensive tackles, just to plug up their train wreck.
Here's your stats: 3.5 hacks, career-wise 26.5. Yeah. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah. Just another body. That's all they're doing.
Damn.
That's the only way you can put it, man.
Oh no.
Oh man. Well, there you have it. Giants. John, the Denver Broncos. Great run. Made it the playoffs. Couldn't beat the Bills in Buffalo, which no one really can do it except the Chiefs. But what were your overall thoughts over last season and then coming into this offseason?
They're going to need to get healthy. They're going to need to, we already talked about before a couple times, Zach Allen. They need to sign him. The one good thing is Alex Singleton, the guy who's built like a skinny kid, from high school, he'll be back. The guy played the entire half with a torn ACL. I mean, that's just stones right there, man. It's going to be interesting in the draft. I think we're going to trade down out of the first round. I think that we can get someone who wants to pick up that, I think 20 we're at. And someone's going to want to take that pick and give us a couple high second and third rounders. So where are we at? I can't see.
Yeah, round one, number 20.
Yeah.
The 20th pick, and then round two, number 51. So nothing too high.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get Shador. So,
well, Travis wanted to come to Denver. He really did, but there's no way that's going to work out. So
they're projected that need a running back.
I don't know. I think Estime is still. I mean, he's proven. I mean, Javonte was good, but I think Estime has a chance to be that sneaky number one. So we'll see. We took care of the quarterback problem. Fairly easily. I think I'm like, I can't remember him not being there. I can't remember Bo Nix not being there, but maybe another, get a number 2 receiver and maybe another offensive lineman. But in all reality, I think they're going to trade down out of the first round, just pick up the high second and high third.
Bo, your quarterback, Bo Nix, was amazing. I thought he should have won Rookie of the Year. I mean, what do you think about him?
We knew it wasn't going to be Caleb Williams, so wait, did I say that out loud?
You went there.
Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
I heard something like that. Yeah.
To all my Chicago Bear friends, I'm kidding, but I'm kidding. But yeah, the kid from DC, played just that much better than Bo Nix. I think you could have flipped the coin really between the two. I think they both just blew away expectations. So yeah, I'm excited. I want to see what we can do in year 2 because I like you could see the maturation process about Game 6 where he wasn't fighting with Sean Payton anymore.
Right. Well, he did yell at Bo Nix once, right? I think one game.
Yeah, but that was like Game 4, I think.
Right.
That's just Sean. That's Sunday for Sean, you know?
Yeah. But you watch that, they were actually game planning together on the sidelines. You know, and I think, you're a 6-year college quarterback. You have the experience to go in the NFL. I think a lot of people underestimated him. So just because he's a 45-year-old rookie last year, that doesn't mean anything.
Wow,
All right?
man. Oh man, that hurt that one.
Yes.
I can bust on my own guys. All right. So, but no, I'm excited to see what they do. Yeah.
Victor doesn't like Sean Payton, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He calls him a tyrant.
Let's bring up the Victor. You know, since he plays safety and cornerback back in the day, Patrick Surtain getting $96 million.
No, really? Oh my God! Like, he doesn't deserve that. That's too. Of course, he deserves it. The guy was lights out. He's going to be better. He is going to, I think, at the end of his career, not only Hall of Fame, but he is going to be mentioned in the names of people that you and remember that bet we had with Victor a couple years ago, if we can name better corners than Deion Sanders, and we came up with 10. I think he's going to be mentioned up there. He's going to be up in like the night train lanes. He's going to be up with the Champ Baileys, you know, as you know, some of the best corners in the league. So, and I'll throw Deion in there. Why not? He's an okay corner.
I remember that debate, by the way. I was cracking up.
Couldn't tackle to save his life, but he was a good cover corner.
Don't tell Byron.
Deion Sanders shut down half the field. That's what he did. That was his job. Just shut down. You know, take away that whole one side. That's what his job was. You know, they didn't worry about him tackling. You know, whatever.
Yeah, but I saw him every time he played Denver when Elway was there. He seemed to get burned. I don't know what that's about. That's weird. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Now, AFC. Now, your division has Geno Smith with the Raiders. What do you think about that? Is that going to be tougher? Like, what do you think about that move?
I'm sorry. What team we're talking about again?
Yeah, there you go. The black and silver team.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, you mean the Triple A team from the minor leagues?
Wow.
I guess, much
nice.
You never know what's in the Buc-ee's mug.
It is water with buzz.
It's water.
Geno Smith said he felt disconnected in Seattle before the trade to Las Vegas. But Mr. Byron, do you think Geno is going to be a force in this division with the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs? I mean, how's this going to pan out?
Let's see who's the top quarterback out there. So you got Bo Nix, you got Geno,
Patrick Mahomes.
You got the guy Justin Herbert.
Yep.
Who's the other one?
Mahomes. I think that's his name, right?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Mahomes,
good,
Herbert, Bo Nix, Geno is the fourth best quarterback in that division right now. That's what I'm saying right now.
Actually, I think Denver's backup is probably the fourth best quarterback in that division right now. But let's not worry about that, you know. So
Max Crosby is he's still backup for the Raiders? I don't know. But yeah, this division, I think Geno Smith is atop what they had last year. Gabe, do you think he's like the fourth best quarterback in that division?
Yeah. Listen, I was about to do something where I politic my way through that answer, but I couldn't come up with anything. Yeah, he's the fourth. Yeah, let's just not play games.
Let it flow. Let it out.
Hey, but the weird thing is that you have Mahomes, and then you have Herbert and Nix. They could be interchangeable at 2 and 3. I'm not going to lie, although I hate that team from Missouri, okay, I'm not going to lie and say that Mahomes is not the best quarterback in that division. That's just stupid. But I think you have the Clarisel kid and Bo Nix as, they could be 2 or 3 on any given Sunday.
It's top. It's kind of tied, like kind of top. I mean, kind of high up there, right, Byron, with the AFC West.
Okay, so Geno Smith felt like he was disrespected. That's what wasn't it that he went to ask him for more money and they just said no, and
No.
then they traded him to the other team? So what does respect have to do with the fact that he asked for more money, they said no, and it's like, okay, we got something for you, and then traded him, to another team?
Yeah,
He brought that on himself.
he did.
Yeah. Well, I actually heard something else. I think I did hear that he did ask for the same amount at Seattle, and they would have gave it to him, but and then the Raiders gave him the same amount he asked. I haven't seen the contract, but something along those lines. Seattle's hitting their heads, but they did get the guy from Minnesota, Sam
Darnold.
the Darnold. Yeah, so they got him, which I think is pretty good. But we'll see about Seattle. I don't think Seattle's gonna do much next season, but I've seen weird things. Niners are shipping out a lot of people, so they might have a chance.
Yeah.
Arizona got that big tight end contract with Byron. Still doesn't understand.
Still trying to figure that one out. I didn't even know who the guy was.
I didn't know he didn't have much touchdowns. He had a lot of yardage.
Yeah, but aren't tight ends supposed to catch touchdown? I don't know. I don't know.
That would help too, but
Yeah.
it ain't my money. Ain't my money. So
Imagine when Brock Powers' contract's up for renewal. He's gonna be the highest paid.
yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. All right, so we're gonna go to a word from our sponsors before we get into Byron's mock-up. Actually, yeah, his mock-up draft, his mock draft. We'll go over it and see what he chooses. Are you ready to accelerate your wealth and secure your family's legacy? Introducing VictorRocho.com, your cash acceleration insurance expert. At VictorRocho.com, we bring accountability to wealth creation inspired by Proverbs 13:22. Your family's financial future matters to us. Experience the power of debt-free life, our innovative insurance solution that not only protects but builds cash value over time. As your cash value grows, say goodbye to debt incrementally and watch your savings soar for a worry-free retirement, all without spending any extra money. With debt-free life, you're not just securing your future, you are creating a lasting legacy for your family, achieving financial freedom and retiring with tax-favored income. Visit VictorRocho.com for more information. That's VictorRocho.com, where accountability meets prosperity. Your greatest asset is you. VictorRocho.com, inspired by John Ronenberg. Oh.
No. I don't. Victor's going to send me an Instagram. Vic, I had nothing to say. I wasn't mocking you before. I'm not mocking you now. No.
Oh, man.
Byron loves it. Byron loves it. Anyways, we're looking at the mock draft. Byron released a couple days ago. He has one more to go. We got a big show a week from now. And we got Mr. Heilman, David Heilman, coming on. He'll be bringing in his mock draft, and Byron will be sharing and comparing who goes first and who goes at number 603. So let's go Byron's mock-up draft 7.0. And the first one is Cam Ward going to Tennessee. Cleveland picking Travis Hunter. 3 Giants, Mr. Graham. Patriots, Will Campbell. Jaguars, Abdul Carter. Raiders, Ashton Genty. Jets, Armin Mambeau. Panthers, Warren. Saints get John Walker. And 10, Will Johnson. Mr. Jones, this is probably going to look different for next week's version, but talk to us about this mock-up draft.
What is that? The two at the top are probably, I ain't going to say a lot, but it's a high probability that they're going to be taken like that. And I just threw Mason Graham in there, figured because they have reports that Abdul Carter with his foot and his shoulder, injuries, maybe maybe not, maybe this or whatever. So I just had him drop a little bit. But yeah, Mason Graham would be a perfect complement to sexy necks, that we have, the push in the middle, and then those guys coming, around the edge. Thibodeau, hope he don't disappoint me, but you know, I just threw him in there for this week. Probably won't be there next week. Will Campbell, offensive tackle from LSU for the Patriots, because you figure you got the young quarterback, you want to keep him upright as much as you can.
Yeah.
Want to be able to run the ball. So Will Campbell, would be a Patriot. That might change too. Then I got Jacksonville, taking Abdul Carter because he's sitting there. He's probably top ranked player, still on the board. See him and snatch him up. You could always, have somebody with the as far as with the pass rush. Then Genty, I got him. That's been there for weeks. I'm sure he might be another one of those. Well, the Raiders need a running back. Let's take the best one available. The Jets, they lost both of their, offensive tackles. They got to replace, the offensive tackle. They got, Justin Fields as a quarterback. They do have, pretty good running backs. They do have, Garrett Wilson, the receiver. And, they need to improve their offensive line. The Panthers, Tyler Warren is the best tight end out there. Today they were comparing him. The comp was Rob Gronkowski, and I was like, I don't know about that.
Deep.
Or Jeremy Shockey. They were comparing him to Shockey, as far as coming out. And I was like, he could be good. I don't know about Rob Gronkowski, but yes, he'd be a good pick, for the little guy. They have a quarterback with the Carolina Panthers. Then Jalen Walker's coming up the board, as far as he can play off the ball and edge rusher. That'd be a good, spot for the Saints to take, a defensive guy, to shore up the defense a little bit, or they could go quarterback, since we haven't taken Shador, yet. And then this kid, Will Johnson, I put him here because, he plays in the area because he's from Michigan. Chicago probably have a little bit more information about, because he was hurt. I only think he played like 6 games this year, and he would be, if it wasn't for the fact that he was hurt, he would be, probably taken a little bit higher because he's that good. This kid, Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan.
Of course, your mock-up is going to change it up a bit in a couple of days.
It's going to change.
It all started with breakfast. Gabe, your thoughts over this mock-up? New England going with this guy.
Oh yeah,
Will Campbell. Like, what are your thoughts over this mock-up? Do you think this is pretty accurate, or you think there's be some changes?
Yeah, I understand that a lot of people think it's going to go a certain way. I'm just counting on the Cleveland Browns doing something stupid to throw everyone's mock draft off.
They may.
So I hope that happens, and if they do, then I hope Travis Hunter drops to 4. But if not, Will Campbell, I think he's going to be a really good player. Old lineman, so fan bases may not be excited per se, but he's a good player. In terms of Tyler Warren, I don't understand people comparing him to Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, I heard that today. I was like,
no, he's more like he's in effect. I know he lines up at tight end, but he's in effect more of a slot receiver than anything. And I mean that in a good way. That's like the modern tight end. Not that he can't block, but right, that's right. What does Tyler Warren do well? Get in space, make a play, outrun the linebacker. So Rob Gronkowski, that's not really, that's not him.
No.
Hey, John, we had to mute your mic because there were some weird noises coming over there, but I think it's better now.
Okay.
So this cat, Jalen. Yeah, go ahead, John. Your thoughts over this mock-up? Anything you want to talk about or comment?
I respect Byron for putting it together, but we all know that as soon as you get to draft day, any mock drafts go right out the window. So
just bowl it up and throw it in the garbage.
I appreciate the hard work you've done.
Byron pencils it down. He writes it down first, then he types it up.
Yeah.
So
wow,
it's quite something. This cat, Jalen Milroe, got invited to the NFL Draft Green Room. Typically, get invited to these things if you make it to the first round. This guy has been predicted round 2, maybe round 1. But Byron, your thoughts over this quarterback from Alabama? You think he might get drafted in the first round, or he'll get, high track and win another day, get picked?
if it goes where Shador, Cam Ward, the kid from Mississippi, Jackson, Dart,
Dart,
him,
Jay
and
Dart.
then those three, and I can see if those three are taken, and then the Giants or Cleveland moving back into the bottom of the first round, to take him possibly. But if he's sitting there, at 34, and the Giants have been talking to him, if he's sitting there, they got to
He's
take him.
visited the Giants.
Yeah, repeatedly, yeah. And if he's there, available, but then you have the Cleveland Browns, or if they don't take a quarterback, they have the pick right before the Giants. So one of them two, probably either they're gonna have to move up to get him, or he's just gonna fall to the lap. He's got all the talent. I think he ran a 4.37 40. He can throw the ball a mile. And Brian Daboll supposedly is the quarterback whisperer. I haven't seen it yet, but that's what he, and if they get this, kid, he's got the talent. And, if they can get him there, and if he doesn't have to play, because you have Russell Wilson there, John, and we have never Jameis Winston, that, he won't have to play for a year or two. But, if they can get him at the bottom of the first round or the top of the second round, yes, they got to take him.
He's definitely top second round. Yeah. Which is too bad, because this kid has talent, but there's just so much more talent ahead of him to pick. There are at least 33 other players that are probably better. So,
Gabe, your thoughts over potentially Milroe going to the first round, or do you think not? He's going to stay another day at Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't get why he was invited to the green room. I don't think there's too much to gain when you sit there through the first round and then have to, I guess, come back the next day. So I don't know what the feeling is there. Like I said earlier, anyway, I'm not too high on any of this year's class as is, and certainly not Milroe. I understand. Jackson Dart, someone's is gonna reach on him. I name it. Who else? Curtis Warwick. Someone's probably gonna reach on him too. Like someone's certainly gonna reach on Jalen Milroe. So I don't get it. I get the glamour. I get why you accept the invite. This is something that you don't just say no to. Why? Because you only get one shot in your life to say yes to this. So I get it. I just feel like whoever sent out that invite wasn't looking out for him, because he's going to be a repeat customer. Something not too many people can say, but a little embarrassing.
Didn't that happen? Didn't that happen to Will Levis? That he got invited and he didn't get picked.
It happened to someone. I couldn't remember.
Recently.
Was it him?
Yeah. And
it might have been.
Sat there a whole day and then come back the next day. Yeah.
Yep.
Happened a couple of years ago. Didn't that? Well, I know Aaron Rodgers came close to not getting there when he got drafted too, but I think he finally did. So
you're right, Byron. It was Will Levis who did not get invited, but did not get drafted the first night.
Yeah, he sat
Good
there.
recall.
Well, at least you get free food. You get free food. They pay for you to stay up.
You see Roger Goodell shake his hand.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, players Keon White, Joey Porter Jr., and Geno Smith too.
Yeah, he was another one.
But he's the fourth best quarterback in that division.
Only at 33. Oh wow. Well, there you have it. We'll find out what happens with Jalen Milroe. I don't think he'll get drafted the first round, but as Byron said, if Giants move up in the first, get another pick in the first round, then maybe Byron, maybe.
Hey,
if they want to trade for 20, give Sean Payton a call.
Whoa, no, they ain't gonna trade that high. No, that's too high. No.
Oh God.
Bottom half of the first round. Bottom half.
No, that's what Denver is. If they want to trade their second and third round picks for a first round, number 20, hey, go for it.
20 too high. Too high. Lower. After 25.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Speaking about Giants quarterback, Colts head coach Shane Steichen has said QB1 is up for competition between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
DJ
Daniel Jones came for the Giants, went to Minnesota, got picked up by the Colts. Byron, is there a redemption story for Daniel Jones here?
Yes, my man is coming back, man. Victor's going to get off my back, as far as all the stuff I've said about, Daniel Jones, so, that he was going to be a star, he was going to be this and all this other stuff. Redemption story. He's going to go there. He's going to have a receiver. He's got Quentin Nelson, offensive line. He's got a running back, Taylor back there. So I think he's going to go there and do pretty well.
What do you think about that, John?
I agree. Hey, Danny Dimes, unsung hero, never really had a chance. Me and Byron always believed in Daniel. We believed in him. We believe, and I'm not a big fan of Anthony Richardson anyway, so I want to see DJ do it. So
he never came back from I was tired to play in the fourth quarter, right, Gabe? He can never have come back from that.
Yeah, he recovered, I guess, or maybe I don't know. He just needs to do more cardio. I don't know why you would ever say that.
Oh, too tired.
You got oxygen on the sidelines. You can get a little puff, you'll be all right.
Byron, when's the last time you saw a quarterback or anybody tired?
Never. I've coached. I've played. I've never seen that before.
Wow. I mean, he's not even playing in Denver, right, John?
Right.
I can see. If you play in Denver, that'd be a different story.
Oh boy, toughest plays. The noise of that stadium, I heard, it's hard.
It's hard. Plus you're at 1 mile exactly. The stadium is at 1 mile above sea level. So, anyone that says, it's tough up there, you're a bunch of wimps. I'm kidding. Just kidding.
We played BYU in Provo and up there.
God.
That was like that. Oh, that's tough. That was we went like 3 days. We played on Saturday. We went like on Wednesday, and coach figured to try to get it used to being up there. Man, that was brutal trying to play up there. Everybody was like pushing each other out the way, trying to get the oxygen. And this was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Quite something. Good ownership by Denver so far. They made the right moves so far. Yeah. Except the Russell Wilson one. I think that's the one they wish.
Well, that was before. That was before this group.
Before the new regime. Okay. Quite
this
something.
Before the Walmarts took over the city of Denver. So
yeah,
it was the Crockies on the Avs and the Nugs. So
yep, and Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
And the Rams.
Yep.
Did you guys see that new Rams facility in Los Angeles? They're planning to build.
No.
It's gorgeous. It's in downtown.
Gorgeous.
So
it's like a nice waterfall outside.
They're gonna dump Inglewood on the what's that other team? The guy Herbert. Yeah, them. They're gonna take over Inglewood.
They should have stayed. They should have stayed in San Diego.
Yeah, they should have. They should.
But the owner didn't want to.
One thing that doesn't fail though, whenever the Chargers play a home game, it's a home game for the other team.
That
they took that from San Diego to Los Angeles. So
it's unbelievable. Anyway, the state in Colorado, the Nuggets got rid of their head coach Mike Malone and their GM.
Yeah.
John, I did not know that. John told me he follows the Nuggets towards the end of the season, but he's been following the story. What happened?
It's one of those things where I'm turning on whatever channel it's on because I want to see the Nuggets play. I'm go back between them and the Avs because you're getting in the playoffs for both right now. It's like, yeah, this is a great time, and I'm watching the Avs. They're going in and out, trying different couple lines, and then I'm watching the Nuggets with this great team with Joker, and they lose 4 in a row on the way to the playoffs. I mean, some had to change. You can't fire the players. That's suicide. So you got to fire Malone because his job as a coach is to motivate them. It's one of those things when you're in I would never say Phil Jackson was a great coach as far as, he borrowed the triangle and all that. Okay. Yeah. But he was a motivator. Phil Jackson was always a motivator. Right. Malone motivated 2 years ago. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, and you're right about Phil Jackson. He knew how to get Eagle stars to play together. He did it with Jordan and Pippen. and he also did it with Kobe and Shaq. And interesting enough, Pippen, I saw some interviews lately the past year. Him and Jordan did not get along. So,
No.
and especially now, there are no speaking terms since that movie, like The Last Dance. So it's quite interesting. But Gabe, what do you think? Yeah, go ahead, John.
The funny thing about that is one of Scotty's biggest beef about that whole series, they left Luke Longley out of it.
Yes, I noticed that. Wow.
And that's when Scotty, and I agree with that. I mean, Bill Cartwright, he great center, always sounded like he was stuffed up. And then, Luke Longley, you would not have, without him in the middle, the last few runs, it would not have happened. And so I'm with Scotty on that one. So
yeah, quite something. Gabe, your thoughts over this firing last season? A couple of games left to the playoffs. I mean, they're in the playoff, not in the playoffs. But your thoughts over this interesting situation in Denver?
No, I was surprised like everyone else in terms of the timing. It's just odd. You won the championship not too long ago, but obviously something isn't right in that building, and I view it's better to rip the band-aid off sooner than to delay the inevitable. That's how I view it. So I get they're going to get a lot of pushback right now, but they feel like this is the right move. And if there's that building, animosity among the employees there, among the people there, that doesn't do anyone any good anyway. So while I may disagree with it, I do think that if that's how they view the situation, then this will end up being the better move.
Mr. Jones, is this a good get the bad friction out early than later?
Yeah, but why would you wait if they had issues like most of the season? Why would you wait until toward the end of the season, to get rid of both of them?
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. Ride it out for whatever it's worth, and then if you want to make changes, make it after the season, not right now. When you're still pushing with the playoffs.
Yeah, and West ain't easy, Byron. The West ain't easy, so we'll see what happens. New interim coach. I think they won their first game yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Isn't the coach Adelman? Like, is that his name?
No, Adelman coaches for the Cavs.
Yeah.
The one for the Nuggets was Mike Malone.
No, I'm just saying who did replace the
interim coach. John, do you know that top of your head?
That's off the top of my head now.
Okay, let me look that up. I saw him. He's a young guy. Let me look that up. They should get someone from the Warriors.
Yeah, a little late.
Yeah, they're trying to Pat Riley the whole situation. So
don't tell that to Victor. He likes
Please
Pat Riley.
David
Adelman, you're right.
That's how Pat Riley got a job in LA. Is he sabotaged somebody else? So
Yeah, David Adelman is interim coach. 43 years old, only 43.
And who is his father? His father is.
I don't know. Rick Adelman.
There you go.
Grab.
That name sounds.
He coached for Portland, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy. He coached during I think the Pippen years or the Clyde Drexler years.
Clyde Drexler, yeah.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Byron, you're good with these 90s stats trivia back in 80s, 90s.
I'm old, man. I'm old. I have nothing else better to do.
Oh my gosh.
I like coming on the show. There's always someone older than me. I like that. So
well, anyways, Gabe had to go, but Malone, one of our comments, Jake C. Ramos 617 says Malone turned into fried bologna. So.
Not untrue.
There you have it. All right, guys. A couple more news. The Colts. We're talking about Daniel Jones, but this time they got rid of their kicker Matt Gay. He actually was one of the highest paid kickers, but he made it 82% of the kicks this past season. But the Colts said that was too much money. He had a $22.5 million contract. What do you think about that, Byron?
Hey, you could always get a kicker, undrafted rookie kicker for a lot less. That's all, just about economics. Because you figure, I'm sure the Colts probably have some other people that have to pay, contracts coming up. So why would you pay all that money to a kicker where you can just go get another one, in the draft or free agent or whatever.
I mean, if you're at 85, 90%, then yeah, or actually 90, let's say 90 to 95%, then yeah, pay the guy, keep it. But you're at 80%, no.
Wow.
That's that kind of contract. That's too low for a kicker.
I think they should get rid of the Ravens should get rid of their kicker. He did horrible this past season.
Yeah, but they're banking on what he did before. So Tucker's just.
He's been accused by a couple of massage therapists.
Oh, it's more than a couple. Way more than a couple.
He's in Deshaun range, I think. Let's be honest. So
I think more Robert Kraft range. I'm kidding.
Whoa!
Well, some of this massage parlor. There's not been a good place for NFL players or owners, but
nah, they need to leave the massage parlors alone.
That's why they have like Tinder and stuff, man. Just swipe left. Jeez.
Well, there you have it. I got all the news I need to talk about. Matt Gay, Daniel Jones, Milrose. We talked about Abdul Carter. I think he's going to the Giants. We're talking about Denver Broncos, Malone. We're talking about the Broncos, Nuggets, and anything else before we go? I mean, anything you want to bring up? Any salutes?
Yeah, I got a couple. Let's see. To Carrie, TJ, T, Shar, Sil, M, Frank, Lace. You guys know who you are. Thinking of you.
Amen to that. Byron, how's your week coming along?
Everything is wonderful. Could be
waiting for the Patriots.
Waiting for Patriots. I'm getting ready to go on vacation again to Ocean City. I'm going someplace different. I'm not going to either the Poconos or Atlantic City. I'm going to Ocean City, Maryland. So I'll be riding right through Delaware.
Hey, when you see the exit for 40 to Glasgow, you better wave, man.
I'm a wave.
All right, I'll see you.
Well, there you have it. The Jersey Boys Sports Talk every Thursday. At what time, Byron?
No, don't. Oh, God.
8 p.m. Eastern.
8 o'clock.
We'll be back next week. David Heilman will be bringing his mock draft with him. He'll compare with Mr. Byron Jones, and we'll see where everyone's going. He has the latest. He knows the scoops, but I don't think he might know the dark horse this year, but we'll find out. And a week from now, you can follow us at thesportscast.net or on X and Instagram at thesportscast1. We'll be tweeting throughout the weekend. NBA is pretty much front and center to play in. I think it's next week or in 2 weeks. So a lot going on with basketball. College sports is done, so at least August. We got college baseball. I know some people watch
college hockey still. Come on,
college hockey as well. My Panthers are number one for the NHL.
Softball, college softball.
Softball's coming up. We got college gymnastics.
Okay, we're reaching there.
We're reaching now.
Yeah. So.
Anyways, Victor says hi. I spoke to him yesterday. He's happy. He's on his assignment. He's busy working, but he'll be back in a couple of weeks, and I'll be holding down the fort until the draft. Anyways, Byron, John, thanks for coming on.
Hey, no problem. My pleasure.
Mr. Jones, as always, we'll be looking for that last draft. You have 2 more mock-ups or 1 more to go?
Probably 2.
2 more to go. There you have it. Jersey Boys Sports Talk. As Victor says, peace.